This is the Iowa Weather Report for Thursday, September 19th, 2013. Now our first look at the 0Z GFS model run. At 1 p.m. this afternoon at 500 millibars, we have a trough axis with some energy moving into the plains and upper Midwest. And with that, that's going to bring a storm system this way as well, with some showers and thunderstorms along it. You can see that here at midday or just past midday. Some of the storms could become strong to severe. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit. But first, we're going to take a look at the high-res NAM. This is at 4 p.m. this afternoon, and you can see by this point, if this is right, you can see the storms beginning to fire along the frontal system, and then they congeal into this line of storms in the eastern counties of the state, into Wisconsin and neighboring northwest Missouri, and into Kansas and northern Oklahoma. And this is where most of the wind threat will be. And with that, the Storm Prediction Center has, in the area where you saw before, a slight risk of severe weather for today and tonight for most of Wisconsin, the eastern two-thirds of Iowa, northern Missouri, Kansas, and you can see the wind outlook is in the same area, the standard 15% in slight risks. And then when we take a look at the large hail outlook, it's virtually the same place from northeastern Minnesota, Wisconsin, southwestward into Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas. Going back to the GFS, and Friday, the frontal system is now moving out of the state. We could see some lingering showers in the eastern counties through the morning, maybe early afternoon, with skies becoming partly sunny, highs a lot cooler, down into the 70s, and we could see very cool morning on Saturday, especially for those going down to Kinnick to tailgate before the Iowa-Western Michigan game. We could see lows in the 40s, low 40s, highs in the 70s or 60s. It'll be 70s to near 80 on Sunday as the winds begin to turn back to the south ahead of another system that'll be starting to develop over the Four Corners region. And there's some activity possibly in the Gulf of Mexico that we need to watch as well. The GFS doesn't show it here, but in our neck of the woods here on Monday, here's a storm system that'll be approaching the state, but this is getting shunted to the north and east because a ridge is developing over the southeast, and that's shunting most of these systems to the north away from us, so the western counties could see rain Monday. Tuesday, it'll be sunny, and the temperatures will still be a tad above seasonal levels, highs in the 70s to low 80s. That looks to be the case here on Wednesday as another storm system begins to approach. Don't expect this to be one to rush through the state. That ridge is still over the east. That storm is going to have plenty of time to move through, and you can see it here. A week from today, you can still see that ridge just parked over the eastern or southeastern quarter of the country. A fairly strong trough and some energy over the, Intermountain West. And you can see there's this frontal system still over the area to our north at this point. Maybe a little bit of high mountain snow in the far west and some moisture along the Gulf of Mexico. When we head into the extended period, as we head there on September the 30th, we have pretty much a zonal flow by this point, some energy over New England into the Canadian Maritimes, some over the U.S.-Canadian border in the northern Rockies. And around here, it looks pretty tranquil, pretty seasonal, pretty boring, pretty dull. Rain and storms over the northeast, some shower activity in Texas, and maybe a little bit over the northwest. At the end of the forecast, or the extended period on October the 4th, it still looks fairly zonal across the country. Most of the energy is up in Canada. But that doesn't mean that there'll be nothing around here. The GFS has maybe a little bit of a stormy setup around here around the 4th or so, but you can see this 540 line is getting very close to the U.S.-Canadian border, and that signals that frost and freeze advisories around here aren't too far off. Satellite image from last evening. You can pick out the cold front fairly easily. A complex of showers and thunderstorms over Minnesota into the eastern Dakotas, down into Colorado. You can see Hurricane Manuel just off the northwest Mexico coast at the bottom left. The watch warning map from last evening. We had the severe thunderstorm watch during the morning hours, the early morning hours over South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota, some frost and freeze advisories in the Intermountain West, and a flash flood watch over far west Texas. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days. This through Monday evening at 7 o'clock, showing most of the rain is going to fall in the next 24 hours, anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch in the northwest to maybe upwards of close to an inch. Some may get more and some may get less.